There's snow at Simpson. Today in Australia, the Simpson Desert is 105 degrees. Simpson Springs, Pony Express Station. There's my arm. Who died in childbirth. Let's see what Mark Twain had to say about this. One of the most famous, how much do you think they got paid? President Lincoln's inaugural address. How much did it cost?
Hey there. Welcome to Bushwhacked Adventures. Are you ready to journey into the wilderness and explore the great outdoors?
All right, we're on the journey. I'm off in the desert. This is kind of where the Pony Express Trail turns off of the main highway and heads off to the west through the desert. There's some information here about what lies ahead, but basically the Pony Express Trail. This is kind of the middle of the trail from Missouri to Sacramento, and I'm headed to Simpson Springs. Simpson Springs is, I think, stop number 88 or 89 along the way, and we'll stop at a few of the landmarkers between here and there. We've got about 25 miles of unimproved roads from here through. There is some fresh snow, so we'll see what we get for conditions. It should be good. We got to go out past those mountains over there, and that's where we'll find Simpson Springs. So. All right, it's the roads are a little icy. Yeah, it's a little slippery. I just came down off of that peak right up there. This is a spot called Lookout Pass, and it was one of the stops along the Pony Express Trail. We're getting a little dirty. You see stop number 86. This monument was erected in August 23rd, 1940. Lookout station of the Pony Express Trail. And you know, the interesting thing is, I had no idea that the Pony Express Trail only ran for about a year and a half, 18 months. It was a great interim process of getting communication across a new nation at a time before the telegram. So this was kind of, it was a project to be able to connect the nation from one side to the other and allow that communication to move back and forth. But it didn't last long. I had no idea it was only for 18 months. They got it up and running, and then they were just filling a gap until the telegraph was able to complete the connection from one shore to the other. But you can see here this monument for station number 86 of the Pony Express Trail. I'll share more details about what I've learned about the Pony Express Trail and kind of how it worked and functioned once I get into camp tonight. I've got a lot I can share with you there. But right now, just enjoying the beauty and the serenity. It is a little cold. I'll probably put my coat on for the next stop. All around. Now, we are here, and we're going to go right up there here in a minute. There's something kind of unique up there that has a little history related to the Pony Express Trail that I'll share with you once we get over there. So let's hop back in and drive on over. All right, we're just driving over here off of the main road. And there's a little something going on here related to the Pony Express Trail that I'll share with you. It's kind of an interesting story. I think I'll park it right here. Looks like a good spot. Okay, let's walk up here. All right, we made it. It's a little dirty. Snow. There's snow at Simpson. That's a play on words. Today in Australia, the Simpson Desert is 105 degrees. Here, Simpson Springs, West Desert of Utah, Pony Express Trail, we have snow. We'd expect that. It's the end of January. In fact, it should be colder and there should be more snow. That road should have been a lot worse to get in here. But you can see it here. In fact, honestly, I think that I passed a couple of road graders earlier that have just recently graded the road. So it's in great shape. But as I say that, a lot of this, 25 miles of it, is unmaintained in the winter. So if you do decide to come out here in the wintertime, Make sure you are prepared, that you have a good vehicle with four-wheel drive and high clearance, because it can get bad out here in the wintertime. All right, Simpson Springs. This was an important stop for the Pony Express Trail. Why is it important? Water. Water was the big thing. There are springs here that provided water so they could water the horses. And they would actually, I mean, we think of Pony Express Trail and we think of the riders who would ride the horses from one station to the next. They would change out horses every 5 to 10 miles based upon the conditions they were riding in and how hard they were riding the horses. The average speed for the horses was about 10 miles per hour. But sometimes they'd get into a full gallop and they'd be going out 25 miles an hour on stretches. So, water. This is a desert and there is no water around. So when they found water at Simpson Springs, it was a perfect location to put a station here where they could rest the horses, take care of the horses. And yeah, we think of those riders that are riding. But from this station, there were actually people that would take water and take it by wagon out further west because there was no water for the horses later on. So here is Simpson Springs. That's not an original building. It was constructed in the early 1900s. There are some remnants over there of the actual stones from the original station. We'll go over there in just a minute and I'll show you what's going on. There's a little placard I can read to you. But that was a cabin that a person began to build, and I'll tell you the story when we go over there. Right now, let's go inside. Let's go take a look and see what we have over here. I've been telling you wrong. I was thinking station number 88. It's number 87. I'm going to read to you what it says here on the plaque. It says number 87, erected August 23rd, 1940. Simpson Spring Pony Express Station, one of the important desert stations on the Pony Express and overland stage route between St. Joseph, Missouri and Sacramento, California. From this point, water was carried for westbound travelers and animals. The spring was discovered by Captain J.M. Simpson, U.S. Army, in 1858. The first eastbound Pony Express courier halted here about 5 p.m. April 7th, and westbound about 2 a.m. April 10th, 1860. The last riders passed about October 22nd, 1861. The coming of the overland telegram made it inadvisable to continue the Pony Express. This monument was constructed by enrollees, U.S. Grazing Division CCC Camp. I can't read that number, -154, Company 2517, sponsored by the Oregon Trail Memorial Association and Utah Pioneer Trails and Landmarks Association. So, this is it. Landmark constructed here. The CCC camp, we'll get to that in a minute, but there's a spot down there. There's a couple of stone pillars down there that mark an area that we'll talk about a little bit later. There's a lot of history here. Some bones, somebody's map. Right down there is a horse corral area where they can at times round up some of the wild horses here in the area and corral them down there. There's a lot of wild horses, wild Mustangs out here in this area of the desert. Time has taken a toll on this sign, and I just can't tell you what it says, but it's talking about this station, this replica, and it's built after a similar manner as to what the original construction would have been. And this would be a waypoint. Come inside, and little bird's nest being built up here. It's cold in here, no sunshine. Lodgepole pines for the roof, and then they toss dirt on top of that and make it an earthen soil roof. It's pretty cool. We'll come back out. You can see here how thick the walls are. There's my arm. Pretty good size. I'm glad I was able to get out here early enough today to still catch some sunshine. You see the roof, they've got soil and then rocks on top of that. That'll stand the test of time for a while. There is a little erosion up here in that corner where the soil started to wash down, or maybe the prevailing wind from that west side has pushed it away a little bit. So they'll want to, as a matter of maintenance, get that taken care of soon so it doesn't ruin the timbers. As you might imagine, this is kind of a unique place to be. It's a destination for those in this area and others who are interested in the history of the Pony Express Trail. So there is up here, there's a campground that's been constructed by the state of Utah, and it's pretty well maintained. I think they just did some renovations to it, updating some things, and with my setup, I don't necessarily need a campground, but I will go up there and just drive through it, just to give you an idea of what the campground is like. If you have any interest in potentially camping out here, it'll get very warm in the summertime, so maybe late spring, early fall is a good time. But I'm in January and I'm here. Okay, over here, the remnants of the cabin. You can see here, it's in pretty bad shape at this point. I love that it's fenced off to protect it. Okay, this is called the Stone Cabin. It says Alvin Anderson used stone from the abandoned Pony Express station when he built this cabin in 1893. It was intended for his wife, who died in childbirth before she could live in it. So 1893, the station closed down in the early 1860s. So 30-ish years later, Alvin Anderson came out here and thought, I'm going to homestead and make a living out here. What would he do? I don't know. Maybe graze cattle? I don't know. There is water. That's an important thing. Without water, there's no life, but with there being springs here, I could understand how he'd maybe take the chance and get that cabin built. Just unfortunate, his wife passed away, and it doesn't say what happened from that point. I don't know if he stayed or if he went on to something else. Once again, time has taken its toll on this fiberglass. You're just not able to make out what it says underneath there. Here, it talks about the wild horses. Interesting. The worst imps of Satan in the business. The only way I could master them was to throw them and get a rope around each foot and stake them out. And have a man on the head and another on the body while I trimmed the feet and nailed the shoes on. It generally took half a day to shoe one of them. Pony Express Farrier. So, okay. And see, I'm not alone. There are others out here traveling along, enjoying the drive. And a Subaru. I would say a Subaru could pass this today. If we had a snowstorm, I'd be a little more worried. Okay, here it shows the map from Missouri and all the stops along the way till we hit Sacramento. Now, interestingly, right now I'm out here in the desert, right? And this is kind of what I picture as Pony Express Trail. But the Pony Express Trail actually runs through downtown Salt Lake City. It's been developed. And here we have not been developed. So it's kind of interesting. Let's see what Mark Twain had to say about this. It says, every neck is stretched and every eye strained. Across the endless prairie, a black speck appears. In a second or two, it becomes a horse and rider, rising and falling, sweeping towards us, growing more and more distinct, and the flutter of hooves come faintly to the ear. Another instant, a whoop and a hurrah from our upper deck, a wave of the rider's hand, but no reply, and man and horse burst past our excited faces and go winging away like a belated fragment of a storm. Pretty inspiring. Here's a little detail. A rider for the Pony Express typically didn't weigh more than about 100 to 125 pounds. You think about that horse, they don't need a big heavy rider that weighs 200 pounds. They need light, kind of like a jockey on a derby horse now. The riders were light, they were usually young. In fact, the youngest rider for the Pony Express was 11. Generally teenagers, most of them weighed under 125 pounds. One of the most famous riders was, got to remember, Wild Bill Hitchcock? No, it was Buffalo Bill. Buffalo Bill was an actual rider. Wild Bill Hitchcock was involved in the Pony Express, but not as a rider. He was a bigger, stockier build, and he helped to tend horses at one of the stations. So that's a little bit of the history. I think, from memory serves, about 16 riders passed away while the Pony Express ran in that 18 months. Some of them from Indian attacks, some of them from exposure or injury or other things. What else could I share with you? There were 2 of the riders were known to be black. None of them were known to be female. They would typically ride 75 to 100 miles a day, kind of based upon terrain and weather conditions, but they kind of have their home station and their away station. They would ride from their home station, ride out 3 or 4 stops, 30, 40 miles, something, and then take the return packages back towards their home station. So in that way, they were able to kind of have a home base that in a terrain that they were familiar with. They knew how to ride it and what the best approach was through the desert or through the mountains or whatever the terrain might be. They have a slogan similar to what we have for the Postal Service today. I don't remember the specifics. I'll tell you that tonight in my campfire story. What else could I share about this? How much do you think they got paid? And this was pretty decent money. It was $100 a month for the middle of 1860. That was pretty decent money, but there was definitely some risk involved. But for an 11-year-old, a teenager, $100 a month in that day and time, that would set you up pretty well. You could see why there was an appeal and a desire to participate in the Pony Express. But it just didn't last long. 18 months, that's all. Then once the telegram came along, it just wasn't worth it. Normally it takes 10 days to run from Missouri back to Sacramento. The fastest trip that they recorded was 7.5 days. It's 7 days and something hours, 14 hours or something. And that was delivering a special message. And that was in 1860. It was President Lincoln's inaugural address. So once that was in Missouri, they wanted to get it to the West Coast as quickly as they could. So they wrote all out. That was a special message, and they took it and they ran with it. How much did it cost to send something on the Pony Express? It started out around $5 per half ounce. Well, that's pretty premium. Think about the 1860s. We sometimes complain about a 50-cent postage stamp or 65 cents or whatever. They paid $5 for half an ounce of parcel. Now, that changed. They dropped it to $1 a little bit later on. But even with that, with those prices, it was a premium price that somebody had to pay in order to get that message across the country. So you can definitely see the advantage to the telegram. Number one, your labor costs are gone, basically. You don't have to worry about maintaining horses and riders throughout all those stops. It's a good thing. So yeah, I love history. And it's history that's close by and around me. I really have an interest in it. You know, I mentioned the Simpson Desert in Australia. I know I have a few viewers in Australia. Hello, thanks for watching. And I've always had an interest in Australia. My brother spent some time there years ago, talked about it a bit. Man, if I had a chance to get to Australia, and that day will come, I think. I think I'd love to get there sometime, and I'd love to journey across the Simpson Desert. I understand it's about a 4 or 5 day trip. And like I said, we're in winter here. Excuse me, down there, it's summer and it's 105 degrees today on the day that I'm filming this here in Utah. So quite a bit different, but maybe someday I will get out there and venture across the Simpson Desert. That would be spectacular. So I'll have to work on that. All right, we still have, maybe an hour of sunshine. I don't know where I'm gonna camp yet. I gotta get that figured out. But this is BLM land all around me. It's entitled Bureau of Land Management. So with that, it gives me the opportunity to camp anywhere that is suitable for camping. I have my own facilities here with my Bushwhacked Adventure trailer and my Sequoia. They're doing well for me. I'm really enjoying my journeys in this, and it's perfect for winter camping, keep you warm. I like other types of camping. I've camped in snow caves, in tents in the wintertime. I'm going to even try my Haven tent hammock here soon, out here in the desert, and see how it does on a nice frosty cold night. But right now we're going to come down here a little bit to those two pillars, and we'll talk more about the CCC crew that helped to build a lot of these markers and monuments for the Pony Express Trail. Then I'll come up and drive you through the campsite and see where we're at that point. Good restrooms, however, bring your own paper. It's winter. I don't know that they're maintained right now. All right, we turn right there to get up to the campground, but I want to come down here a little further. Maybe I ought to look that word up and make sure I'm using the right one. But right here, is a turnoff that brings us up to some remnants from the old civilian Corps. All right. And here we go again. The weather is taking a toll on this sign. Okay, CCC, it's the Civilian Conservation Corps Camp. Foundations in this area mark the site of a CCC camp which was operated by the United States government from 1939 to 1942. This camp included a number of buildings, a dozen large barracks, officers' quarters, mess hall recreation hall, swimming pool, and support bunkers. Young men between 17 and 20 years old worked on range projects and road developments, primarily along the old Pony Express Trail. The buildings were disassembled at the beginning of World War II. The green rock in the area is a volcanic tuff that is common to the Simpson Springs area. Okay, there you have it, CCC, Civilian Conservation Corps Camp. Remnants, I don't know. Is it an old water cistern? Possibly. I don't know for sure. Not certain what these posts are here. But if we come over to the other side, if you can imagine barracks, you don't want to build a barrack on unlevel ground. So they actually improved levels so that they have flat areas to be able to put their barracks on. Stone retaining wall to kind of help hold the earth back. There's something up here. Cool stuff. Yeah, that a window of time, kind of in between World War I, World War II, where they had the ability to focus on a project like this, to remember the past. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, over here, there's stuff all around. Trees are pretty sparse. If you do decide to come this way and you want to have a fire, I'd probably advise you bring your own wood. No idea what it was, but it was something. Old slab of concrete. Let's come back over here on this side. Maybe this was their swimming pool, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's more of a cellar. Little tracks coming through the snow. Yeah, that makes sense. That was buried in the ground. That's probably a cellar for cold storage. concrete here that's almost 100 years old. Okay, well, that's Simpson Springs. A stop on the Pony Express Trail. And as remote as I feel I am, I can look right off over there and it looks like it's only 5-10 miles away, and it's the city of Dugway. It's just, there's no improved roads. It's all gravel between here and there. I came from that way. And that journey was, I'm about 75, 80 miles from home right now. And the last 25, 30 of that, not good in terms of the roads. So you just take it slow and you're good. Okay, let's go up and take a look at the campground. I'm gonna go back down the road a little bit. I got a spot in mind where maybe I can find a good spot to camp for the evening. Or maybe I'll come back here, I don't know, we'll see. But right now I want to get set up somewhere where I can get the sunset going on my camera. So, you know how I like sunsets. All right, sunset's very soon. This is the horse corrals where they put the wild horses when they round them up, and they have auctions out here for the wild horses. It's as good a spot as any to spend the night. Simpson Springs is right back there. And I'm going to maybe just get the tree. You know what? That actually looks pretty level side to side. Let's see how we're doing front to back. I'm pretty happy with that right there. This is home for the night. I'm gonna get camp set up. I think it's gonna be a cold night. There's a little cold breeze blowing in right now as the sun's starting to set. Right back over there. Right now I'm gonna just get the trailer ready. It's about 5:40. We'll get some dinner going. Time to get this fire going and get it warmed up in here. Get that burning. Tuck it in there. Get a little kindling on top. And that'll be burning soon. There we go. Get that up there when it's ready to turn on. Fire. It's cold, but it'll warm up. It'll probably take about a half hour, but this is going to warm up nicely. And within 5 minutes or less, my fan's starting. So that's awesome. That'll help. Okay. That's good. I want to get some of these compressed wood blocks in here. Let them start burning. Because that's what's going to keep us warm tonight. And I might just let it burn out. We'll see. I can tuck myself in my sleeping bag and just restart it in the morning. It'll warm up within 20, 30 minutes. Love the desert. All right, I've got all my gear thrown into the trailer now. It's just all in a pile. Yep, it's a mess. But it's dropped to 34 here in the trailer, and it's 27 outside right now. So it's going to be a cold night. It's going to feel good to have the Cubic Mini going here. That fan's just nice right now. Okay, gear's put away, fire's warming up, we're up to 38, loving it. It just feels good having that fan blow that air on me. It's good. I will probably give it 20, 30 minutes, then we'll get some dinner cooked. I've got a little time, I'm gonna read a book. Wind and Truth, Book 5 of the Stormlight Archive. All right, we've been running about a half an hour. Sun is going down. We're sitting at 50 degrees Fahrenheit in the trailer, 23 degrees outside. So it's getting cold. Gotta grab one more thing out of the vehicle, so gotta step out a minute. My little fan is humming. I love it. The stove is going. Nice and warm. Oh, there's Venus. A week ago, we had the planetary alignment. I don't know if you can see the sliver of the sun there, or the moon. The planetary alignment was a week ago, and it was cloudy and stormy, so I wasn't able to get out and see it. But from there, kind of down across the sky is kind of where I should maybe, hopefully see something tonight. But Venus is definitely letting its presence be known right now. It's just a beautiful, cold night on the desert. I gotta take this jacket off. I've shut the air down on the fire. You can see that it is just burning happy in there. So it's a good time right now to maybe actually pull the fan off and cook some dinner. Okay, hot dogs. Got hot dogs here. I like mustard on my hot dog. Got some buns, pickle wedge, smokehouse barbecue chips. Yep, I'm good. I'm gonna get this cooked up real quick and enjoy a meal. And then we're gonna get the camera set outside so that we can record or do a time lapse through the night. So that's the plan right now. Hot pan. Sometimes I like ketchup on my dog, but I always like mustard. Gonna get a new one soon. Yeah, looking good. Hot. Perfect. These just need a pickle wedge. All right, dinner time. All right, last bite. Perfect. All right, I think I'm good. It's almost 7. I'm going to read tonight. Got a lot of book to read. Warm by the fire. And so I think right now, I'm going to take the camera outside, get it set up so that we can record the night sky. Get things cleaned up in here. We'll go outside and take a look at the sky. I'll bundle up a little bit here. Good morning. Oh, it's a little after 5 right now. 5:20-ish or something. It's about 19 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And currently hovering around 80 here in the trailer right now. I just restoked the fire a little bit ago. It was down to 61. And it took about a half hour to warm it back up. But I slept pretty good. Actually, I think I slept really good. I got a solid 4.5 hours from midnight to 4:30-ish. And now I'm awake. So, what do? I have several things I could do at home today. That's my norm. There's always something to do at home. But had a really enjoyable time out here at Simpson Springs. This is a really cool place, and I shared quite a few different history bits about what Simpson Springs is all about and its importance to not only the Pony Express Trail but the Overland Stage Route that passed through this area. There's a lot more in terms of history. It doesn't take much. Just do a quick search and it'll pull up all kinds of interesting facts and different things about it. But yeah, I've really enjoyed being out here. It's very peaceful and serene. There's a ton of stars out right now. In fact, in a minute, I'm going to just open up the door and just snap a picture of what the sky is looking like, because it's gorgeous with clear sky, not a lot of light pollution at all.
It's not a dark sky observatory. Right here, there is a town 10-ish miles to my north. You get a little bit of light from that, but it's pretty good. It's a good sky, a good place to come if you want to see the sky. All right, so what do I do now? It's about almost 5:30. I am awake. It's going to be a few minutes for me to get ready because I want to let the fire burn down a little bit more. I had stoked it up half hour, 40 minutes ago or something. That's why it's 80 degrees in here. But we'll get a few shots of the morning sky, work on putting some things away, then we'll hit the road. Been great. I hope you've enjoyed coming along on this adventure and learning a little bit about this area and the history of Simpson Springs, spreading in a few details about the Simpson Desert in Australia as well. I am kind of interested in that area. It was discovered by a person involved in studying the geography of Alaska. It's early Australia, and he actually invented a washing machine that is popular over there. I think I'm going to pack up, head home.
All right. Took me a little while to get camp, broke down. I had to let the stove cool down a bit. It was pretty warm. So I read my book for a little bit. I'm driving out right now. I'm sitting on the top of Lookout Pass, and it is gorgeous. The sun is just rising right now. Give you a little glimpse of what I'm seeing. It's going to be a beautiful day. Love my camper, the Bushwhacked Adventure trailer. Keeps me comfortable. All right, with that, I'm going to sign out. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you like the content, share it with others, and I'm enjoying making it for you, so we'll talk to you later. Today's episode. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell to receive notifications for future content. That's all, folks. See you on our next adventure.